Hello, friends and traders. In this segment, we are discussing simply the square, the sideways square to start with. Now, this tool is going to help us be flexible in finding what the sideways square is going to produce in terms of expansion and reflection points. At the same time, we will also find out that it has serious implications, and this tool is so flexible that you can make it into support and resistance, which we call as stair step support and resistance. We also have possibilities of using this in a square of the range, square of the sideways action range, square of the swing ranges. So let's put it on and see what happens. Nothing much to change in the input. Now this is pretty much obviously a sideways action. So we talk about Gann saying square the range, square the high, square the low. Well, we are saying square the sideways action. Let's start there first. Remember, what is sideways action? The sideways action is nothing more, sideways action is nothing more than the coiling of the energy. When the energy is being coiled, it's going to blast one way or the other. So this start of coiling and then end of coiling, when it breaks out, this is a swing which is post coiling operation. We're going in sideways action up and down, and then this one initiates on the downside. So this is the structure which we are going to square, the sideways square. And what are we expecting market to do? Well, this is now saying the next sideways square or the jump or the targets are going to be represented by one of these squares. Market comes into this square. We have our energy support and resistance line here at the same time. It jumps from here to this square. Comes back down. Goes up to this square and comes down to this square. Then it jumps up and then comes back to this square. So this sideways reflection right here, the sideways reflection of energy is being expressed by these various dimensions. All right, I hope that makes sense. The second part is we are going to use it as support and resistance, as I said. So we can make it as double top. I can extend it. So now what we are seeing here is that market went to this line, and this double top is being reflected on this side now. See this? And this, and you can see there are lots of reflections coming from here. This one. Now remember, as I said, state jumps. So this is the original one. This is the first. Let me point it down right here. What is the next one? Straight up. So you have to use this one. Got it? What is the next straight up? Is this one. On the bottom, Now, okay, and on the bottom, which one worked out? The third or the fourth one, right? You can see here. First one was here, it did reflect a little bit, twice. Then it went to the second one. Okay, and then the third is here. I can move it backwards. You can see it clearly without having too much overlaps. So market went up to this one, you can see, and then we already saw that, and now it came back harsh and touched the right. It touched and reflected. So that is what is going on. If you wrap the whole thing, right, as we saw, we got into the square. If you don't wrap it, we can also look into support and resistance. We're just dealing with this small phenomena at this moment. All right, so you got a couple of uses of it, right? Another use is pretty much straightforward, which is squaring the range. Okay, so what is the range we are trying to square? We are trying to square this range. We can square this range, we can square the range. Now what is happening while we are squaring the range? Again, we are getting, this is the range and this is the reflection of that range, the height. This is the range and this range is expressed here. This range is also traveled and expressed here. This range is also traveled and expressed here. These are a little bit of advanced concepts in Gann phenomena, but just get a feel for it. Okay, that's it. So as you this is what Gann was talking about in terms of squaring the high, squaring the low, squaring the range. What we are doing is we are taking this idea of squaring and running it through the convergence of two waves, the Fibonacci and prime number factor coming together with the first rotation of the angelic frequency of 3. All right, because 111 is 3. Okay, so 3 is 1, 1 is 3, 0.11 is still 3, 1.11 is still 3, 1.111, right, or 11.1 or 111, all the same things. Decimals are only man-made because we try to create fractions or out of whole numbers, and universe has no respect for these fractions. And the funny part is whole numbers becomes fractions and fraction becomes whole number, because so above so below, reflection laws. So if you want to convert from whole to fraction and fraction to whole, you have to invert the phenomena. All right, we teach all this in detail if you sign up for the level 1 and level 2. All right, and this is one-on-one 3 months we have to spend together to open your soul. This is the soul business, my friends. All right, so you saw sideways action, you saw flipping these things around. Okay, how about impulses? So let's take this big impulse, right? Let's move to this one. This guy, I impulsed it, so I can move it into a square. I can put it on the big bar, and this is a big bar right here. I'm putting it on a big bar. Okay, now what is happening? Can you see? Top, bottom, top. Reflections is also coming in time. Do you see the magic? All right, so let's use it as let's say a normal square, and you want to stretch it. Now this seller came in people are trying to get into him, and this was broken, so we have to just wrap this impulse. So there's a very complicated phenomena of jumping of the squares and the sequencing of the squares. We'll not get into this right now. Just wanted to tell you that when you see this, now this is a 5-minute chart. Okay, in the 5-minute chart, what we talk about is big bar. Okay, this big bar is here, big bar is here. This swing we have to qualify through big bars when we do this. So this is our phenomena. Okay, so if you go to the bottom one, we can move it to the forward side. Okay. So you can see they are all extremely flexible. We can do a single bar, reflections, for example. Let's make it this big, 5-minute bar. Well, 5 minute is not really that big, but let's assume, let's go to this 5-minute bar. Okay, so what do we get from this 5-minute vertically placing this bar? Timing, timing, timing. Okay, timing. Then what we do? Let's move it forward. So if this range of single bar has to be moved forward, what we are going to see is when market gets into these squares, especially when it's coming down. That's why they're also progressing. There's a shift going on. All right. So how do we start? When to start? Where to start? Well, always start with sideways action. Okay, that's what. Before we get into sophistications, start with sideways action. Right. So sideways action is coiling the energy, is blasting off. It went to this box, came back, come back to the next box, came back to the box, went to the next box. I can extend the boxes right here, right? Same thing. This one gives you a perfect idea of squaring the range, all right, done through geometry. So this one gave us good information, right? All these tops and bottoms. So this, now you have to mark it, right? From here we got this, from here also we got this. So there is a strong evidence that we are going to stop here. So where else can you see the sideways action? We have sideways action there, so let's place it here. Okay. Sideways action, capture most of the sideways action. If you think you want to catch it like this, it's fine. This is also fine. What did it do? It went to the third. It keeps going to this. And this is ES 5 minutes chart. All right, my friends. I just wanted to get you introduced to some things which are following Gann's laws. Done through geometry. What else can we do? Do you see any sideways action? Let's see sideways action. Okay, let's try this one. Now this is really not really a clear sideways action, but market is never clear. So okay, what do we do? Well, there we go. Just put it on. Nothing much to think about. We see one bunch of the action is inside the square. I have to pick some pivots anyways, right? If you want to put on the bottom too, we can put it on the bottom a little bit more. So this is a little bit of subjectivity to, okay, this one looks like it has captured most of the action. Okay, then what we expect it to do? Well, we're expecting it to go to higher reflection squares. When it gets there, it's going to reflect. Right here again, wander into this one. It didn't have to go the same day. Went here, came down. So this reflected. Now if I tell you, if I give you the lot of complex laws behind it, so there are laws like 3 up, 4 down, 7 down, 5 up, and 6 down. This is a jump circuitry going on. We will discuss that. That comes from the Tesla reflection spirals actually. Okay, so for now, sideways action, energy, coiling, squaring, higher squaring. This is the first higher square. After that, you have a 3 jump, 1, 2, 3, and jump. There are some laws of reflection. We will discuss this later. Right? For now, just get introduced to the tools. This is also sideways action, right? Okay, that's fine. Remember, we're dealing with 5-minute chart. All right, so let's wrap this up with one more example. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on the top, sideways action. As I said, this is a very complicated tool. It has lots of implications in the sense okay, I can move it to left side too, but I'm just capturing this range, right? That's all I'm trying to do. If this is my range, I just need to capture it to the bottom. This is the bottom. Let's move it to the left side. Okay, so what do we get? When it left the range, it came down to this square, bounced from this square, this square, this square. It just how it is. Then it went to the other square. All right, you can use some oscillators and other tools. So this is how you can play the energy targets of sideways action.